Hello friends, welcome to Tandavex. In this video we're going to discuss the $24 billion 114 Rafale deal. Is it the best choice for IAF? IAF moves forward on 2 lakh crore $24 billion Rafale deal. The Indian Air Force, IAF, has formally submitted a proposal to the Ministry of Defense for the acquisition of 114 Rafale fighter jets under the government's Make in India initiative. The estimated cost of the deal is around 2 lakh crore, making it one of the largest defense procurements in India's history. According to officials, the plan includes a mix of flyaway aircraft from France and jets to be assembled in India, with over 60% indigenous content. While the deal promises a major boost to India's air power, it also raises concerns about timelines, costs, and technology transfer. Experts highlight that the long-term success of the program will depend on smooth execution of local manufacturing and ensuring sustained supply chains. The timeline question. This urgent desire by the IAF to buy 114 Rafales brings us to the key question. Is this the best option? If the deal is signed in 2026 by sheer luck, will these 114 Rafales really fulfill the IAF's urgent needs? To answer this, let us analyze a timeline for the 114 Rafale deal. Realistic timeline assumptions, typical bureaucratic friction, 6 to 12-month finance clearance slips, tougher TOT talks, procurement calendar timing, budget cycles, moderate ramp-up issues for local suppliers. AON, 2026, late 2027 early. Contract signed, 2028 early mid. First flyaway deliveries, 2029 mid-late. Slightly later initial tranche. Local line setup begins 2029 to 2030, site selection approvals. Indian assembly production start 2031, first India assembled jets. Major deliveries underway 2031 to 2039. Final delivery complete 114 jets 2040. Why this is likely. Typical multi-layered approvals and negotiation complexity add 12 to 24 months. Industrial setup and certification commonly take longer than initial plans. But this kind of project will not go on time. Scenario based on past government deals. Pessimistic scenario assumptions. Extended finance scrutiny, contentious to ITAR-like issues, budget rephasing, supply chain or geopolitical delays, slow supplier readiness, legal contractual hurdles. AON, 2027, late to 2028 early. Contract signed 2029 to 2030. First flyaway deliveries 2030, late to 2031. Local line setup begins 2031 to 33. Indian assembly production start 2034. First India assembled jets. Major deliveries underway 2034 to 2044. Final delivery complete 114 jets 2043 to 2045. Why this can happen. Large defense buys sometimes stall 2 to 4 plus years in approval negotiation or suffer multi-year slowdowns during localization and testing. From the timelines, it is clear the IAF will not get a single jet before 2031 to 2032. Who is responsible? This raises the deeper question. Who is responsible for the current condition of the IAF? The current condition of the IAF is due to the IAF planners. They do nothing when there is no big event happening, which is the best time for planning and investment for the future. But they start acting when anything big happens, like the Pulwan attack. Is this planning or face-saving? If Rafale was to be purchased, then why did the IAF take so much time? If the IAF had formally submitted a proposal to the ministry in 2020, production would already be underway. Not only did they fail to act decisively on Rafale, but they also did not agree to indigenous fighter options like TEDBF, ORCA. Aero India 2021, the missed chance. The TEDBF ORCA concept was first showcased publicly or prominently discussed around Aero India 2021. That suggests that ORCA TEDBF conversations existed at least at conceptual government/DO 8A levels by 2021. If the IAF had joined the TEDBF ORCA program with the Navy in 2021, we would already have a prototype by now, or at least by next year. Not too late. In my humble opinion, nothing is too late. India should buy only 36 additional Rafales in flyaway condition to address urgent needs and scrap this nonsensical 114 Rafale MMRCA-2 deal once and for all. Why? Because 7 to 10 years is enough to develop a twin-engine fighter jet. Anyway, India is not going to get any Rafale before 2032. So if the IAF waits for 2 or 3 years, by 2035, India will have its own twin-engine fighter jet. Giving 24 billions to another country in exchange for waiting 2 or 3 years is nothing short of foolish. To understand what I'm saying, we have to see the timeline for TEDBF ORCA. If Joint IAF plus Navy TEDBF ORCA program start from 2025, 1. Optimistic accelerated timeline, 7 years. Assumption, full mission mode approach like nuclear space programs, no funding gaps, maximum parallelization of design, prototype building, testing, certification. 2025 project sanctioned, full funding released, 60,000, 70,000 crore, 7 to 8.5. Design freeze within the same year. 2026 to 27, rapid prototype build using TEDBF design work already matured by 8A DRDO. 2027, first prototype rollout. 2028, first flight of TEDBF ORCA. 2028-30, intensive flight testing and systems integration. 2 to 3 prototypes flying in parallel. 2031, initial operational clearance, IOC. 2032, start of series production at HAL Industrial Partner Line. 2032, low-rate initial production, LRI 4 to 6 aircraft. 2033 to 34, ramp up to 12 to 16 aircraft per year. 2035 onward, steady-state capacity of 16 to 18 aircraft per year, plus private partners like Tata L&T. Possible surge, up to 20 per year if dual assembly lines are activated. 2035 to 44, full-rate production at 16 to 18 jets per year. By 2044 to 45, around 200 jets delivered, program largely complete in 12 to 13 years of production. Unit cost, flyaway plus R&D amortized. Initial batches, 850 to 950 crore, 100 to 150 Ming dollars per jet. Mass production, after 50 to 60 units, 700 to 800 crore, 85 to 95 mil per jet. Export potential, could lower per unit cost further with scale. But projects face delays. This is the reality of life. So, let's see a realistic scenario. 2. Realistic accelerated timeline, 9 years. Assumption, some delays in testing, engine supply bottlenecks, integration challenges, but program still stays on a fast track compared to past Indian projects. 2025, project sanctioned, funding approved, 70,000 to 80,000 crore, 8.5, 9.5 buys. 2026 to 28, detailed design finalization, wind tunnel tests, systems definition, prototype assembly. 2029, first prototype rollout, 30, maiden flight. 2030-33, development flight test campaign, naval carrier trials, weapons qualification. 2034, initial operational clearance, IOC. Production ramp up, 2034, or 46 aircraft. 2035-36, 16 to 18 aircraft per year. 2037 onward, 16 to 18 aircraft, steady rate. By 2035-36, first squadron, 18 jets. 2037 to 2046, full rate production at 16 to 18 jets per year. By 2046-47, 200 jets delivered, program largely complete in 12 to 13 years of production. Unit cost, initial batches, 950 to 1,050 crore, 115 to $125 per jet. Mass production, after 50-60 units, 800 to 900 crore, 95 to 110 men per jet. Exports could reduce costs by 10 to 15%. Funding requirements, development phase, R&D, prototypes, test infra, 25,000 to 30,000 crore, 3 to 3.5 buy bids. Production infrastructure, new assembly line, tooling, supply chain, naval-specific test rigs, 10,000 to 15,000 crore, 1.2 to 1.8 buys. First 100 to 120 aircraft, unit cost 700 to 900 crore each, 70,000 to 1,000 crore, 8.5 to 12 buys. Total program budget, R&D plus production setup plus first 120 aircraft, 1 out of 1.3 lakh crore, 12-15 spread across 12 to 15 years. Now to understand what we gain by spending 12 to 15 dollars on ORCA TEDBF, we first need to compare Rafale and ORCA TEDBF. So let's do a side-by-side comparison. Generation, 4.5 gen multi-role fighter, 4.5 gen indigenous twin-engine, stealth-optimized fighter. Status operational, combat proven. Concept stage, prototype possible by 2029 to 30. Engines, Two have Safran M80 80 cadets each, two ton 98 to 110 kilonewton class GE F414 initially, later Indian French co-developed engine. Max takeoff weight 24.5 tons, 25 to 27 tons. Payload 9.5 tons, 9 to 10 tons. Range combat radius 1,850 kilometers with external tanks, 2,000 plus kilometers. Avionics and sensors: RB2 ESA radar, Spectra EW suite, ARST Indigenous Utum Mag 3 GAN ESA, new EW suite, AI-enabled fusion. Weapons: Meteor Scalp Mica Hammer, Astra Mil 13 SFDR BVR, Brahmos NG, Next Gen Missile Suite. Stealth: reduced RCS composites, stealth optimized shaping composites, not full 5th gen, projector will have 35% smaller RCS. Frontal RCS 0.3.5, fully loaded RCS 1 to 2 mid square, 0.5 to 1 rad. Operational use: France, India, Egypt, Qatar, Greece, UAE, Indonesia. Target IAF and Navy mid-2030s onward. First flight 1986 prototype, operational since 2001. Projected 2029 to 30. Production in India, 2030-2031 flyaway, 2035 local assembly, 2032-2035 production start. Full fleet induction 2038 to 24, 114 jets, 2043-45, 200 jets. Unit cost 1,500 plus crore, 192 to 10 members, 750 crore, 85 to 150 million after ramp up. Strengths: proven, immediate capability. Indigenous, higher thrust, stealthier design, tech spillover. By spending on the ORCA TEDBF project, India not only gains the 100% indigenous twin-engine next-gen fighter jet, which is more powerful and stealthier than a Rafale-class fighter jet, we also save money. Now let's calculate how much money we save if we go with the ORCA TEDBF program. Cost advantage: Rafale TEDBF, Rafale deal, 114 jets, 2,000 crore. ORCA unit cost, mass production, 800 crore per jet, 114 ORCAs, 91,200 crore. R&D with Navy co-funding, 25,000 to 45,000 crore. Total ORCA program cost for IAF, 1.16 to 1.36 lakh crore. Net saving versus Rafale equals 63,800 to 83,800 crore, 7.7 to 10.1 B. This saving arises because the Navy would already fund a large share of TEDBF R&D. The IAF effectively rides on that investment to field ORCA at a much lower marginal cost. Now, we can buy 70 to 80 more ORCA TEDBF jets from 7.7 to 10.1 B pies. Or we can start a new project for the next-gen missile suite and man-machine teaming and AI data links. Reinvesting the savings, missiles plus AI. Those 63,080 to 83,800 crore in savings are not just money saved, they are strategic capital. Redirected wisely, they can close India's most critical gaps. 1. Next-gen missile suite, 75,000 crore, complete replacement of imported weapons like Meteor, Mika, Scalp, R-77, and Harpoon Exocet. Acceleration of Astra Mag 3 ramjet BVRAM, Brahmos NG, Rudram anti-radiation missiles, and stealthy long-range cruise missiles. Indigenous seeker and propulsion technologies, dual-pulse ramjet SFDR scaled up for mass production. Program to develop next-gen air-to-air missiles, fleet-wide integration across Tejas Mk2, ORCA TEDBF, A. Export-ready missile ecosystem by the mid-2030s. 2. Man-machine teaming and AI data links 6,008 crore. Development of secure AI-driven battle management systems. Loyal wingman UCAV and swarm integration. Advanced human-machine cockpit interface and autonomy features. A unified IAF plus Navy combat cloud, reducing dependence on imported data links. To understand the extent of what we are going to achieve if we start this program, now we see the achievements with a timeline. Timelines. What India gains, 2025 to 28. Joint ORCA TEDBF prototypes roll out. Simultaneous work starts for next-gen missile suite and man-machine teaming and AI data links. 2029-31, first flights, integration of Utum Mag 3 radar, Astra Mag 3. Next-gen missile suite and man-machine teaming and AI data links. 2032, LRIP, low-rate production of ORCA begins. 2033-34, first ORCA squadron and IAF TEDBF carrier trials. And next-gen missile suite and man-machine teaming and AI data links integration complete. 2035-44, full-rate production, 16 to 18 jets per year. By mid-2040s, 200 ORCA TEDBF delivered alongside a fully indigenous missile ecosystem. Meanwhile, Rafale would have delivered only 114 jets at a higher cost, with continued dependency on France for missiles and upgrades. Strategic payoff 1. Twin-engine indigenous capability. India joins the select club that designs and produces heavy-class fighters. 2. Financial efficiency. Savings of up to $10 billion reinvested domestically, not abroad. 3. Weapon sovereignty. India breaks free from foreign missile reliance by 2035. 4. AI-enabled warfare. ORCA and AMCA evolve into networked autonomy-driven platforms. Export potential. Fighter plus missile packages make India a global supplier, not just a buyer. Conclusion. The choice before India is not merely about acquiring the next batch of fighters, but about shaping the nation's aerospace future. A joint IAF-Navy commitment to the TEDBF ORCA program ensures that by the mid-2030s, India fields its own advanced twin-engine fighter optimized for stealth, range, and indigenous weapons. Compared to importing Rafales, this path not only delivers greater numbers and better customization, but also saves nearly 65,000 to 85,000 crore. These savings can directly fund two critical force multipliers: the next-gen missile suite, replacing costly imports like Meteor and Scalp with indigenous long-range air-to-air and precision strike systems, and the AI MMT ecosystem, enabling manned-unmanned teaming, advanced data links, and autonomy across the Tejas Impact II, ORCA TEDBF, and AMCA fleets. Taken together, this strategy does more than buy airplanes. It secures self-reliance, technological depth, and fiscal efficiency. By aligning Air Force and Navy priorities, India can transform what was once a dependence on imports into a foundation for next-generation air combat dominance. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe and like, and to not miss the latest videos, click on the bell icon.